And we're back. I guess we now know why it was going to be called Scary Fast because my word, that did not last long. They rattled through that. Wow. So, what did we get? We got the new MacBook Pros. I hope, have just seen the death of the 13-inch MacBook Pro. I think that's what's happened. Um, that was Did anyone else think that that was gonna be quite that quick? I don't think I've ever seen a 30-minute Apple event. That's a new one on me. Um, yeah. Let's see if things are up in the newsroom yet. Because I don't think they mentioned as well whether the accessories were being updated to USB-C. I'm almost certain they will be, but I also don't think it was something that they needed to mention, perhaps. What did everyone think? Autumn Rose, hello. How are you? That was faster than any of us expected, I think. This is what Scary Fast must have meant. We all thought it was talking about the chips. It was very much talking about how quick the event was going to be, I think. Wow. Wow, indeed, Patton the Apple Gamer. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. By the way, it's good to have you all back. Rico the MLG Pro, welcome back. Haven't seen you guys for a while. Yuri Herb is saying scary fast and very scary short. Yeah, definitely. What have we got there? Someone was saying, oh, UK price on the MacBook £50 less. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, a few different things. Naked Bananas, I am disappointed with the white bezels on the iMac, so that's staying. Yeah, I thought we were probably going to get... I thought that might be part of the theme, is like, we're going to do a darker version. I thought that even as it was going on, I thought that was possibly something that was going to happen. Let's welcome Sigmund back to the stage. Hello, sir.
Hello, hello, hello.
How are you? I just
I
realised I've
am
not got my
good.
AirPods in.
I
Hopefully
I'm
that's
I'm
not
I'm
going to...
happy. I'm happy. It's 25-1. That's
Yeah,
good.
we still get to go to bed at a normal time, which is exciting, isn't it?
It
Um,
is.
yeah, that was strange. Uh,
I I
Scary
loved it.
Fast. Yeah, Scary Fast just meant the event.
Welcome to my lab.
That was fantastic. That was so good. But I've got to say, I did really like the look of everything, the way that everything was looking. The fact that even they made the labs darker. Did they switch out the tables? Did they not
Yep.
normally have like pine tables and they went for black tables? They've
Uh,
literally like refurbished the lab for this.
and and the walls as well.
Yeah, I thought it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
great.
Yeah, it
Really,
was
really good.
great.
I'm just having a
Everything
quick
had the
look.
orange accent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the thing, right? Now that we get this look into the different labs and everything else, which we have done now for a few years, every time I watch this, I'm every time I watch keynotes, I'm almost looking around, kind of going, "Oh, that's new. Oh, there's a good idea for a studio." Um, yeah, I gotta say, not overly too much for me to talk about. I'm happy because my wallet is safe until Apple Vision Pro,
For
so
now.
I'm
For
happy.
now.
For now, for now. Um, Nothing on gaming. I really expected there
No.
to be something. Um, so that was a surprise. The thing that I think is the biggest takeaway for me is the price decrease on the 14-inch
That's not
MacBooks.
a price decrease on the 14-inch.
Is it not?
It looks like it is, but that 14-inch with M3 inside is replacing the 1299 13-inch.
Got
It has got a much nicer display and it is a little bit bigger, but it's yeah, it's not actually a price cut because it started previously at the M3 Pro, M2 Pro at 2000, which is why it now sounds like it starts at less.
okay.
Right, so
Okay.
this is an M3, so this is the equivalent chip to a MacBook Air, whereas before
Is
the
it though?
14.
Is it though? Says Laura Collins.
which is it what, Laura? You're gonna have to just expand on that a little bit. But yes, more than happy to carry on. Apparently, as well, this is one of my favorite things. It still seems that those peripherals for the iMacs are using Lightning. TJ Sound, no 27-inch. No, it's not coming back. They made that very clear in the event as well that this replaces the iMac. The 24-inch iMac is there to replace the 21 and the 27. There is not going to be a 27. There is not going to be a Pro iMac. That's not a thing. The iMac Pro was literally a one and done. When it came out in 2017 because it was a filler to fill the gap between the 2013 and the 2019 Mac Pros. It was never intended to be something they kept around, as far as I know. Does the M3 14-inch have 120 hertz? That is a very good question. I don't know if it has ProMotion. Let's have a look, see if we can find out. But yeah, what were your biggest takeaways other than interior design stuff, Sigmund?
I really like the fact that we've got a black MacBook.
Oh
What I
yeah,
would say though is it really black? You
it,
know, we've had space
yeah.
gray, we've had all they're calling it black. We'll have to see.
Oh, you can only get space black on on which one? Oh, you have to have a Pro chip if you want space black. You can't
Makes
have
sense.
a
It's a
space
pro
black
color.
M3 version,
Mhm.
but you can have it with M3 Pro or M3 Max.
In
So
the
let's
credits, it said
yeah.
everything was shot on an iPhone, which blew
Really?
my mind a little bit. Yeah.
I didn't see that. That's awesome if that's the case.
Yep, shot on an iPhone and edited on Mac. It's gotta have
Wow.
the thing beefy Mac to
Yeah.
get that out of an iPhone, I'd imagine.
But I
Um,
mean, you know, they've
I'm
got they can shoot ProRes now at up to 4K. So, you know, that all of the data's there for them to play around with the colors and stuff. But like I thought it was super crispy as well, the video. It looked really, really nice.
yeah, I'm I'm really bad, at saying I don't have apart from the actual production of the event, um, I don't have a lot to say on
Yeah.
it.
I mean, it
And
was kind of the
what
stuff
I
that
thought
impressed me, I've got to say, was the performance bumps. So like 2 times faster than like the M2 Max, I think.
mhm,
Like that's incredible. Battery gains as well, pretty impressive. But yeah, the space black is actually replacing space gray. Just noticed that it's been mentioned in the chat there. It
okay.
replaces the space gray on the Pro and Max models, and then the M3 model just comes in space gray or silver.
Now,
So
you can tell me, but I thought they did a better job this time in explaining the difference between the chips and who they're actually
yeah,
focused towards, right? The groups of people. Um, so I really appreciated that. Um, what are we saying? Just configured a MacBook Pro 16 for what I want, 31.99. That's not bad going.
yeah. Genuinely, like I think the pricing is actually surprisingly reasonable now, especially given the amount of performance. I did have to like take a breath when they said the new MacBook Pros in the top spec, obviously, are 11 times faster than the fastest Intel MacBook Pro that they ever made. That's incredible in the space of what, 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah. However, when you equate the energy saving,
Hmm.
does it keep you as warm at night?
Well, no, that's
That's
true.
the
You do
important
have to put
thing.
your heating on.
Um, that was my attempts at comedy. Dave is obviously gonna be much better than me.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
haven't actually mentioned that in the first stream. I am doing stand-up comedy. Thank you, Sigmund, for queuing me up. Yeah, I'm doing stand-up comedy for the children's hospital that looked after my kids. Yeah, justgiving.com/iCaveDave. If you want to come to Birmingham and actually watch me do it, you're very welcome to do that. Anyone in the chat, or in fact Sigmund. But yeah, it's going to be on the 12th of November. It should be filmed as well, so if it is, I will try and put it out, or at least link to it. I'm only doing 5 minutes, tight 5, but yeah, should be good. I'm very much looking forward to doing it, but I'm also a bit terrified. Yeah. Yuri, no online stream for it. No, it's not going to be streamed as far as I know. But it is going to be available to watch VOD afterwards on YouTube, I believe.
I gotta say, I'm shocked by what we've heard about the accessories still being Lightning for the
Yeah,
iMac.
I'm not sure how people have confirmed this because there doesn't seem to be mentioned
May-
anywhere that I can see.
Maybe when you search for like the Magic Keyboard by itself, maybe they haven't updated.
Yeah, I'm just thinking
Or
like they don't sell the colored versions individually anyway, so it could
Mm,
be that they haven't updated the standalone, but the ones that come with this do. But I haven't been able to verify that either way yet.
let me see what I can do here. I know it's not great. Um, yeah, I'd be really surprised.
I mean, unless it's just that they've got loads on hand and they're going to update them quietly in future. But yeah, all the accessories look exactly the same as they did before.
The screens didn't
Yeah.
get the I guess the rumored upgrades of a smaller notch and that kind of thing, but we did get upgrades elsewhere.
We did in the screens in terms of brightness,
Mhm.
which is good, and I think that's really more what we were expecting. There were a few people. Oh no, it does still come with lightning. Just check because the cable that they come with is a lightning cable still. That's surprising. That is surprising.
Oh,
But I also don't really care. Because as long as you've got a lightning cable, you're charging them once every 6 weeks or something. It's
ma
not a massive issue.
yeah, I'd be interested actually in the chat. Who has already retired their lightning cables and they're in like a graveyard Ziploc bag? Because I did that this weekend.
I'm still on a 14.
Oh, I want you know what? I wanna bring this up very quickly because but it's not really related to the event, but you just flashed the MagSafe charger at me.
Yeah, baby.
I'm not a fan. I love the magnetic element of MagSafe, like, for example, for mounts, that kind of thing, accessories. The
Hmm.
MagSafe charging speed drives me bonkers,
I
um,
think it's fine.
and
This is one of my
I'm not.
favorite things for the mounts.
Is
Joby
that
Gorilla
the
Pod with
Oh,
MagSafe,
okay. See, I've
but
got like
also
a oh, what's that? It's got ears.
you can twist them around so you can use it for non-MagSafe things too.
Hey, that's cool.
It's quite a nice little design. But these things are great.
15, not 25. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's some questions in the chat about like SSD speeds. We really won't know that until these are in the hands of I guess Max Tech. They'll be the first ones to shout about it if it's not quick enough. Um, but yeah, they have definitely changed. One thing I noticed about the chips is they've definitely changed the way that they are producing these. That M3 Pro is not a chopped down M3 Max from the looks of things.
Hmm.
And they also said that the M3 Max is going to be a little bit later in November as well. I'm still in shock that it was a half-hour event. That's just still thrown me off. They've never done one that short, I don't think, and actually called it an event. Maybe it
Evan
was
Ro
just it's after hours they wanted to go home.
Evan Rogers says here, "The fully loaded MacBook Pro now costs $7,200." Laughing my bum
Fucking
off.
ass off.
Oof. Um,
Yeah.
and there goes my projector. That's all going up now.
Oh,
All
see you later.
bye. um, and give it a second.
It's
There we
lovely
go.
that your house is like, no, it's bedtime. Everything's
Yeah,
going away.
and because of the automation, the blinds have gone up as well. And
Amazing.
now my desk is going up.
Sigmund's office is just transforming. Tremendous. Don't fall over. Don't fall down. Yuri saying goodbye, projector.
Yeah,
That's
I can't.
fun.
I honestly, that's absolutely killed my trail of thought. Um,
Um,
what were we
I mean,
saying?
I've
Oh
got to
yes,
say, with
yes. The MacBook
sorry, go.
Pro fully loaded, right?
Yeah,
If you've been to a Five Guys, right? Five Guys
yeah,
burger starts off really low,
all the way.
and then as you just keep piling the stuff in, it's gonna get
Yep.
expensive. The same goes with the MacBook Pro, and it's all really going to be dependent on what you need, right? So, okay, 8 terabytes of storage. Storage has never been cheap
Not
on
from Apple.
MacBook, not from Apple.
Yep.
And now that there's like some increased repairability of these products,
Mm-hmm.
I guess the hard drives are still like soldered to the board and everything else, right? Or is
Yeah.
it? Or is anything? Nothing's changed in that regard.
Yeah, almost certainly. Still, I mean, we won't know until we actually get one of these to open up and or let someone else do it, let someone else break it. But yeah, it's yeah, certainly not cheap. Yeah, 71.99 is the spec'd up version. That's if you don't add Final Cut and Logic to it, and that's with the 128 gigs of unified memory and 8 terabytes of storage, which is excessive for almost anyone on the planet.
Mm.
Justine and Marquez, probably those would be the two that will just click yes, yes, please to everything.
I mean,
Yeah,
we got
$1,000 for a 128 gig of RAM, as Patton's just mentioned. Yeah,
my question is gonna be, right, okay, the MacBook Pros, they're amazing, and if you need that power, that's great. But in terms of value, how how much value are you getting from an iMac? Like, I know there hasn't been many changes, right?
hmm,
Aesthetically, there hasn't been any change, not even a
yeah,
new color, which is sad. But an M3 chip in there to pretty much do, I would say, what the majority of people would need a Mac for, and
yep,
probably beyond that. That is a great family computer.
absolutely. And the quality of the display, like if you had, a yeah, as a bedroom thing for kids, they would not need a TV and an iMac. I would
Mhm.
say. For the amount of sort of media consumption. You've got the spatial audio and the speakers built into these things, which is very, very, good quality speakers, even in something this thin. Just having a quick look now. Uh, the Wi-Fi has gone up to 6E, which is good. So it is faster on the Wi-Fi than it has been in the past. Um,
Any
is there
Thunderbolt
anything?
increases?
I believe just says blazingly fast Thunderbolt ports, so I'm gonna say no, probably not.
Yeah.
And you still get the 2 Thunderbolt ports, and then on the higher spec ones, you'll get the additional 2 USB-C ports, but those are at the slower speeds. So I think the Thunderbolt ports are the 40 gigabit per second stylies, and then it's 10 gigs on the USB-C. If I remember correctly, I don't think they've changed much else. Studio quality mics, yeah, that was already there. 6-speaker sound system, that was already there. That orange does look newer to me, but I think it's the same colors that they've had before.
I think because
Yeah,
it's juxtaposed against that black, that darker
yeah.
background,
I
right?
think that's probably the case. But yeah, twice as fast as the M1 iMac. Like I did say when we heard that they were going to update this to M3, that they would probably put the iMac in first because then they got to say, and the M3 is twice as fast as the previous iMac, as opposed to comparing it to something with an M2 inside. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, I mean, doubling the speed in two what would be 2 generations between the M1 and the M3 is just absolutely insane. That's that's way beyond what's happening in the rest of the industry. And M1 was already impressive.
Yeah, I mean, we opened with the kind of like welcome to my lab and how scary that was,
It
and
was
and
wonderful.
actually how much fun. I really enjoyed the presentation with the different like shadows and everything else. Tim Cook did say good evening, but he didn't turn into a bat and fly away.
You didn't. And no
Oh,
Craig. No
no
Craig
Jeff,
memes.
no Craig, no Craig. He's a dub guy.
He
Um,
is, but
he sounds.
we were expecting the gaming stuff, and there was literally nothing on the gaming side. There appears to be no relevance to Japan and time zones, even though that's what everyone was talking about beforehand. I'm gonna guess. I've not looked yet, but I'm gonna guess that Twitter is mad that it was so short.
I mean, it was scary fast.
It
Sorry,
was
no, it wasn't. It was
scarily
scarily
fast.
fast.
But no, I
Uh,
really I enjoyed it, but I was just like, oh, it's done. I was finished. I literally tweeted, "Are they wrapping up?" I was like, "They were."
yeah.
Straight back to Tim.
We got a first look at Monarch: Legacy of Monsters.
Was
Um,
that the first we've seen of it?
it wasn't, to be fair.
Okay.
It was nice to see it highlighted.
Mm,
Um, so that was cool. And then even in the editing bay studio, Um, someone was editing The Changeling, which if you haven't checked out, you should do. Then he had posters for the different Apple originals in that
yeah.
room as well. That was nice. It was nice.
Mhm.
Um,
Just seeing Naked Bananas in the chat is saying, "I might buy an iMac, but I would have to spray paint those ugly bezels. Sorry, I can't get over it." Surely someone like Dbrand must have done, like, a bezel surround, like a vinyl that would cover those by now? I
I,
I I didn't I kind of like the white, but I
I think
understand
it's
why
a
people
nice
don't.
yeah, I think it's a nice change. Um, I like it. I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
What I would have loved though is maybe just a small update of being able to adjust the screen, or at least have an option for it. Because
For a
I have a
different kind of
studio
stand.
display which isn't adjustable, um, but I have an adjustable desk, so
Yeah.
that's kind of okay. But
I mean,
yeah,
there is obviously you can get the VESA adapter version, so you could put it onto a monitor arm, but it is like the same price, and you're just not getting the stand, and they're drilling 4 holes in it for you. That's kind of the difference, I think.
yeah, um, no upgrade for the studio display.
Did we
No,
expect that? It's been out for a year or
yeah,
18 months.
yeah, yeah, no upgrade for that. No, um, the
Pro display?
XDR,
Yeah, Pro
XDR
display.
Pro Display, upgrades. That will probably come around dub time next year.
Yeah,
Everyone's
that's
got their
more
Apple
likely to
Vision
come with
Pros.
a Mac Pro or a Mac Studio. Um, Evan Rogers just pointing out the touch bar is officially dead. And the world's best-selling OLED display of all time is no more. I would probably hazard a guess that the iPhone has sold a lot more OLED displays in any particular year than touch bars of all time. Um, but yeah, it was definitely. I've just looked at my phone and I've got 34 notifications on
Okay,
on Twitter, which is going to be exciting. It does
that's a good
seem
day.
that
Have you
everything.
been retweeted by Mark Gurman?
Have I?
I'm just messing.
I mean, maybe you did the other day,
Oh.
didn't you?
Yeah, honestly, it was great, but I did not get much
Briefly.
sleep. Um, Yeah,
Yeah, everything
I
is still
think
starting on 8 GB of unified memory as well. There is no starting at 12 gig thing, despite the speculation.
I think this was a cool little event, right? We got some really impressive upgrades on the chips.
Yeah.
Um, Beyond that, there's not a lot to say. Let's be honest. Let's
Oh,
be
yeah,
honest.
absolutely. It it
Um,
was fun, but yeah, it's a bit it was light. The content was dense, but brief.
mm, and I'm disappointed that they didn't go full out on the Halloween thing. Maybe have like a few animated bats or something a little more
Just
fun.
pumpkins in the
Uh,
background.
it was very subtle. It was very
Mhm.
subtle. Any
It was
sign of
classy.
the iPhone mini coming back? Okay.
No, iPhone mini will not be back, I wouldn't have thought. Um, it just sold so poorly that there's just no real reason that it would come back. Everyone said that they wanted smaller phones, and then nobody bought it, so I don't see that Apple's likely to resurrect that.
And it almost went against the company's strategy, right, in terms of media services as well. They want
Mhm.
you to the reason the screens keep getting bigger is because they want you to consume things on those screens, um, and continue to by offering you the best experience they possibly can. Um, and having a smaller screen is not the way to go. If you're old enough to remember syncing up movies, full feature length movies on the iPod Classic Video and actually dealing with that as your in-flight entertainment or something, you'll know it's not the way to live.
What was the size on those? It was about the size of an Apple Watch, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
The display.
I think back in the day, I had some dodgy movie pics, not naughty videos, but just people would always want to know what you're watching on on your iPod Video Classic,
Yeah,
and yeah, yeah, um, lots of horrors.
yeah. Yeah, so I think we're probably gonna wrap this one up, aren't we? Because I think we've talked about all of it. Team Kinetic saying it could have been a press release. I agree, but I think the jump in the chips justified actually talking about it, and the fact that they have put the 13-inch MacBook Pro out of its misery finally, um, which is good. Which is good.
I also think as much as this is entertaining for us, you got to think about the people behind the chipsets, right? And the people at Apple, they want their moment as well, right? So the software teams had their moment, right? The iPhone teams, they'll have their moment guaranteed, right? It's been a long time coming if we think about it since the MacBook was able since the Mac even was able to have its regular moments.
Hmm.
And so I think as short as this event was, it's a moment that will be cherished by a lot of people, not just Apple fans, but people internally at Apple.
Yeah,
I
and
can only
I would
imagine they're
also.
fighting right now.
I'm just hoping that now, because this update for the M Pro and M Max chips has been what, 10 months? January, wasn't it? So
Mm.
9, 10 months. I'm hoping that this is kind of our reset, and now we will go to an annual update cycle when we can kind of predict at what time of year we're going to be getting these things. It just makes sense because the cores are being updated every year anyway. Apple's building these cores. They're redesigning them year on year for the iPhones, and then they scale it up for the Macs. So it just makes sense to me, at least.
I gotta ask though, and maybe this is something that will end on maybe leave it with a dangling, something to dangle, right? Is where do they go from here? This is already so impressive.
More
What are we
faster.
expecting next year? Just faster and better and more energy efficient to the point where it does the Mac and Mac OS does something before you can even think of doing it.
I would say that we've always kind of got to the point where computers are so fast that we're like, we don't need any more. And we always find ways to fill that space. It's like if you add more storage to a system, you will find ways to fill it up. You know, the image sizes get bigger. They'll become more demanding. There'll be better quality. We're going to be having 3D video going onto these iPhones very soon. With spatial video for the Vision Pro, which I think makes a lot of sense. I would have loved it if they'd put one of the cameras at the bottom, so that you could actually have the cameras spaced about the same as your eyes. That would
Mhm.
have made it a little bit better. One here, one here, one here. That would have made a lot more sense. But that's going to take up more space. The more fidelity that you get once the displays get more pixel dense, that's going to increase sizes. That's going to make it all more demanding to actually edit. Therefore, you need the power. We'll always find a use for it.
Anyway, this was fun.
Anyway,
This was fun.
it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for having me and, letting me talk Apple TV during the intro of a Mac event. Hopefully that wasn't too different for everyone in the
It's all
chat
good.
and you enjoyed it. Um,
And definitely
yeah.
check out Sigmund's podcast over at Magic Rays of Light on Apple Podcasts, and over at screentimes.net once he gets that up and running again, back up and playing. And what was the last thing? I can't remember. Oh, and
Oh,
if you haven't read it yet, the tvOS 17 review over on Mac Stories. There's big changes coming on tvOS as well. We've got that new interface that you were playing with the other day, so more stuff
yeah,
to come.
there's lots and lots, and what I would say is, as much as people don't think there is a lot going on in the world of Apple TV, um, we talk a lot about the future of the TV experience and what Apple could be doing there as well. Not necessarily TV sets, but software and navigation. And maybe, one day just getting rid of this and having things launch via apps on your phone. So, lots that we get into. Hopefully, you'll come and join. And hopefully, we'll have Dave on very soon to talk about a Apple original, um, probably for all mankind, which will see its finale in January.
Yeah,
So a little
good.
while to go, but yeah, I think January is the time that will get you over on Magic Rays of Light. All
Yeah, we
right,
could
Dave.
talk about it compared to the real world space stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you
Fabulous.
so
Thank
much,
you so
Dave.
much.
And
Cheers, Sigmund. And thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for joining us, guys. Welcome to my lab.